Hi everybody, it's Michelle from thesavvymind.com, and I tried to go live tonight but had some technical difficulties, but I didn't want you to miss out on this content because I have been thinking about this, and then it's kind of like things got in the way, and then I thought about it again, and then I forgot about it and thought about it. So I thought, obviously it keeps coming back to me, so it must be really important. So what I was going to do, the live about today, was how do you get over some of these just automatic bad habits, behaviors, responses to situations. And the exciting thing about this is that we're not alone. We're not alone. Everybody has them, like snap judgments, or you walk in walk home in the door from work and there's the kids' clothes on the floor and it's just an automatic, Wah! And so, that's really something that everybody has. But, it doesn't really serve you anymore. Once things stop serving you in a positive way, then it's time to get over them and to get rid of them. And if these automatic responses and behaviors are just kind of getting in the way, that's what you really want to do. You want to take a look at them and say, hey, are they positive anymore? Is it working for me? If it's not, then we have to change it. And I think people don't realize how even like personality traits, and when I say that, I mean, I'll use an example of my son. He'll kill me if he sees this video, but he has this automatic response that he just gets really loud. If he's angry, he gets really loud. And, I was having a conversation with him yesterday, and I said, he was talking about his military experience and alluding to the fact that this was PTSD because he's a combat veteran, and I'm very proud of that and all that. However, I said, you know what, this was way before you went into the military. I said, this is just a habit. It's a habit. And he's like, I guess you're right. I realize it is. And I was like, wow. For once, I was right about something, which was scary. But those kinds of things are habits. And initially, 100 years ago, when these habits were formed for all of us, they served a purpose, a positive purpose, actually. Anytime, it served a purpose of protecting us or shielding us from something. And so, you got a positive response. So anytime you have an action and then you have a positive response, it gets repeated. And then it gets repeated again because there's another positive response. And then it's repeated and another positive response. So, it starts to just kind of go clickety-clock, clickety-clock. Then it's kind of like it's stored then because it's a behavior that you learned, and it kept getting reinforced in a positive way, so you kept doing it. Well, then you got so good at it that you stored it in your subconscious. And even those kinds of things are stored in your subconscious. And what I find so interesting, the more I'm reading, they're saying 95% of everything that we do is guided by our subconscious. And it's a little scary because the subconscious is not something that we can see. It's not something we can touch. It's not something that we even know what's there, So it's a little frightening. And the only way that you can kind of tell that you need a tune-up, so to speak, is when your behavior and when your actions are no longer serving you in a positive way. So the easiest way to do this, there's two things that are hooked up in any behavior, okay? One is it becomes automatic, okay? It's learned, it's automatic, it's in the subconscious, it's going to run on autopilot. The brain doesn't have an automatic update switch. So until you actually physically go in and do something to change it, it's going to be there. Okay. So you can do a couple of different things. One is, they're kind of connected. One is a pattern interrupt. And if I could just have a few minutes of my son, let me just work with my son for a few minutes. I could help him with that. But of course, now we're talking like too far, too much. But A pattern interrupt is just, it's something that shifts the environment. Okay, it's kind of like when you're around someone and they're crying, they had something bad happened and they're crying, and then somebody says something funny to kind of lighten the mood, and then it does lighten the mood, okay, because it shifts, and it makes room for something that was, you know, it kind of pushes out what was uncomfortable and brings in something that's better. So it really does lighten the mood, and there's a way in the brain that works, okay? And that's a pattern interrupt. You know, other pattern interrupts can be, you know, when you're angry, go for a walk. Well, honestly, I have to say that never really worked for me, because when I was angry, when I left the house, I would walk around the block, I'd be fine, and then I'd come in and I'd be angry again. So that one didn't work so well for me. I'm going to be honest. But, you know, counting to 10, even though it's kind of like an old wives' tale or folklore, it really has a place in this whole psychology of behavior, because it gives you time to shift. So one thing that, and I thought it was a great idea, I ran across this, it's a great idea, is to count from 5 down to 1. Boom. And just that little bit of time, it'll give you time to really make a decision. Is that really the behavior I want to do or not? Okay, is it because, again, we're talking automatic split second, just split second reaction time. So if you can just give yourself even that 5-second span, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. Do I really want to react that way? I think that's an amazing tool to have. I really do think it's an amazing tool to have. Now, you're going to have to be careful if you're trying to do something like quit biting your nails or quit smoking or something like that. That's a different type of behavior, and it's going to take a little bit of pattern interrupt and willpower. But, you know, willpower actually is done on the conscious level. And with willpower, it's kind of like filling the plate with cookies, and willpower is just another cookie. And if the plate gets too full, the cookies are going to start dropping off. And because willpower is not really, you know, the top 3, it's, you know, that's why your willpower fades with time. So you don't want that, you know, you don't want to count on willpower to help you change behaviors. It's a tool, of course, and you want to be mindful of that. But I think if you look at pattern interrupts, the other thing too is if you want long-lasting results with behaviors, you really need to substitute something positive for the negative. So come up with other ways of doing it. And I'm just going to use this as an example. You know, walk in, you see the kids' clothes or, you know, school books on the floor, and you get really mad, and it's an everyday occurrence. Okay, well, there's a couple things you can do. You can set up sort of a routine for the kids so that they don't have that coming in. But if you could do that, you would have already done it. So maybe you wanted to say, you know what, I'm not going to get mad. What I'm going to do is pick them up, put them on the table, and pull it out and open it up and start talking about their day. You know, you have to replace a positive with the negative. And an easier way to do this too is to really visualize your reaction in these situations, your behavior. And I want you to just go big with it. Okay, I want you to think, okay, you know, let's say I just don't get along well with people at work. And there's this one particular person I don't get along well. And they just irritate me. And so I'm snarky with them all the time. Okay, so visualize that situation getting so horribly bad that it causes you to lose your job, for example, or it causes a full-blown argument in the workplace, or whatever it works for you. But I want you to go full-blown, and I want you to just imagine, I want you to think about that at its very worst. And when I say think about it, it's me. I want you to do it full-blown. So I want you to see it. I want you to hear it. I want you to experience colors and sounds and textures. You need to see it, okay? And then, you know, kind of shake your head, you know, get that, kind of shake your head. And then I want you to just visualize yourself doing something different. Whatever that situation is, whatever you choose to be a better alternative in that specific situation, I want you to go ahead and do the same thing. I want you to visualize that. I want you to do the same thing. I want you to see it. I want you to see it in color, and I want you to hear the sounds. I want you to feel the textures. I want you to just get all of your senses involved. Because if you can see yourself, your brain thinks in pictures. And if your brain can see a picture of you responding in a different way, plus doing a pattern interrupt, and then consciously implementing that new plan, then you've got a really good chance of shifting that behavior into a more positive mode. And I just think that is so important because, you know, so often when I'm working with clients, I have them fill out an assessment. One of the questions I ask is, in the last year, how many times have you said something that you've later regretted? I cannot tell you how many times people say 10 or more. And in a professional setting, 10 or more is pretty much. I mean, if you say something out of turn, 10 or more in a professional setting, that's pretty much. If you say it in a personal setting with your kids or your husband or your spouse or your significant other or your parents or whoever, that's, if you say it to the same person, that's really hurtful as well. So I just want to let you know that yes, there is a way that you can stop this habit, and that's all it is. It's just a behavior habit. It's a habit, and you can change it. And again, though, but you have to change it in the part of the brain that's generating the impulses and firing the neurons that are making you do the things you do and say the things you say. You know, you can't you can't just put a Band-Aid on it. You have to really go back to the root cause. And once you do that, then you're in like Flint. So I know this is a long video. This would have been a live. I apologize for my technical glitches. I hope you found this interesting. If you have questions about it and you want to comment, I will make every effort to answer those comments. And then maybe later this week, maybe we can do like a live, like a Zoom Q&A or something. Because I want you guys to understand just how important the subconscious is and how important it is as it relates to your day-to-day. It's not like pie in the sky, it's what's running your body. And that's so important to me that you know that. So I don't want to keep you any longer. I just didn't want to end at 13 minutes. Call me superstitious. So have a wonderful week. Have a great week. Do something fabulous. Do something that scares you a little bit so that you can grow. And I will talk to you soon. I love you guys. Thanks so much. See you soon. Bye. See ya.